Bears are scary. You can't outrun them, you can't outclimb them, and if you live in California, you can't even outhide them. If they say ignorance is bliss, YouTube makes sure you can't have any bliss. I saw this video where a bear squeezed its way into a man's crawl space under his house and camped out in there for a significant period of time. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Happening now in Altadena. Incredible video here. You're looking at a large bear somehow squeezing itself into and out of a tiny crawl space under a home. A homeowner facing a serious problem today, saying the stubborn animal won't leave. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Haskell live in Altadena with more on the video and what is being done today, Josh.
Look at his smug face there, trying not to smile. You'll notice that is a theme with the reporters here. They're all having a lot of fun. But when they come to interview the man of the hour who owns the house, he's not having so much fun.
Crawl spaces under homes can be tight, even for a bear. But this now famous Altadena bear has made the narrow space under Ken Johnson's home a den for the winter.
I think the longer he's there, the more comfortable he's going to be, and this won't end.
It's great how they have Ken Johnson introduced here with the title Bear Under His Home. I don't know if that's a common practice for ABC7, but it seems a little unprofessional, guys.
The bear is famous in this neighborhood along Altadena Drive below the San Gabriel Mountains because it's been spotted almost every week for over 6 months. Some residents believe the Eden fire destroyed its home, which is why it now roams their neighborhood looking for shelter and food.
Our neighbors had a bear, and I hear now there's one across the street, and it's in the mountains, and we burned, so they had to go somewhere. They had no place to live. Where are they going to go? And nice, dark basements, perfect place.
As long as it's not your basement. Isn't that right, Margaret?
It's terrifying. I have to stop shaking when moments ago. I'm starting to get used to it, but it sounds like a dragon.
But who's to say it's not a dragon? The man clearly leaves his crawl space open for anyone to come on in. Maybe they're having a whole party in there. This is where I started to realize, how is this guy supposed to get this thing out of there? The hole's like this big. The bear's like that big. He's like a rat. I didn't know they could squeeze that much. If you were to kill him, you'd have to chop him up under the basement and drag him out in pieces. You can't just pull him out whole. So you really do have to try to lure him out of there. I don't really know what other choice he has.
Johnson has reached out to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, who says they're aware of the situation and will determine the next steps, which could include capturing the bear and transporting it back up to the mountains.
Keep your distance as much as you can. Make sure that you're giving the bear enough space to escape. That's a huge element. Bears don't want to be around us any more than we want to be around them. And if they feel like they're cornered, that could be a problem. But if they see an escape route, they're going to take it.
What would we do without this man to guide us? He's dropping years of bear knowledge on us, and it would be doing us a large disservice to not have him filling us in on don't corner the bear. I probably could have told you that, this guy. Now, with another interview with the man of the house, the man who owns the house, they're gonna let us know, but he says that people keep thinking, I imagine it's because of Smiley McGee over there, the reporter on scene, that he didn't secure his crawl space, but it was covered by a vent or something to keep the bear out. But it's a bear. The bear ripped it open, as you'll see soon, but it sounds like people are kind of dogpiling on the poor guy like he just had a hole this big in his house, just welcoming animals in right after a fire. Man's too smart for that. He would never do that.
My friend named him Unbearable, and at this point he really fits that name. And it's like I'm always waiting for the other paw to drop.
Look at the sadness in this man's eyes. Everybody's having a great time making jokes. Unbearable, that's a good one. That's classic. It must have been the bear guy from earlier who came up with that one with his 4-year degree. But this man's suffering.
We first showed you the bear removing a screen on the side of the home. Down he goes, head first, squeezing his giant backside into the underground den.
I don't know how that bear did that. He just grabbed the wire, whatever that was, and he pulled it back like he was a man in a suit, like it was a cartoon. I just pictured him like biting at it or clawing it down or something, but it looks like he rips it from the wall, grabs it, and tosses it behind him like he's playing Fall Guys or something.
When it comes to getting out, the 500-pound bear gets stuck. The massive beast struggles. He pushes again and is finally free.
You would think if the bear gets stuck on the way out that he wouldn't want to come back, but they don't say how many times he's coming in and out like it's a B&B, but he just doesn't seem to learn his lesson, and he manages to weasel his way like a rat in and out of that hole that's way too small for him.
When he tugs on that, it loosens all this, and then the door closes.
In an Inside Edition oops moment, we may have accidentally triggered the trap by getting too close. Our bad.
Classic Inside Edition, just causing more pain and suffering for, what's his name?
Can you imagine? Wow, and he plans to sue the Department of Fish and Wildlife after being told that the state will no longer help.
So this clip was a little disappointing because, as you can see, the title is Homeowner Plans to Sue Over Bear That Won't Leave. And I was kind of hoping he was trying to sue the bear, but it turns out for some reason he's suing the people who came over, wasted his time, maybe made a couple jokes and left. At that point, you might as well sue the news stations, too, because everybody's been doing it to this poor guy.
He's deciding to sue the agency because they stopped helping him get that bear out.
Bear 14, homeowner 0.
He caught more reporters. It seems like the bear isn't the only guy living in this man's basement. There's so many reporters he's had to talk to. I'm thinking they have a room in his house at this point.
But instead of catching the large bear under Johnson's home, the trap caught a smaller bear, the wrong one. That bear was hauled away and the bigger bear stayed put.
Now this part is just tragic. This is the part in the story where the girl leaves the guy and he hasn't chased her to the airport yet to bring her back into his arms. It really makes you feel for old Ken Johnson. Just when he thought it was over, it looks like the bear and the reporters were going to have a new neighbor in Ken Johnson's basement.
Biologists later tried again, using air horns to flush the bear out. Johnson says,
"Can't believe that one didn't work."
I'm just exhausted from the whole thing. You know, I get my mind off it for a little bit, and then suddenly I get flooded back with, oh, that's right, can't take a hot shower. I got to monitor the situation all the time. Every time my phone buzzes, it's like, is that him? Do I have to go and keep him away?
Now, Johnson says he plans to sue, accusing the agency of negligence and emotional distress.
Because this has gone on long enough, and it's something that they should deal with. I mean, it's a tagged bear. They've dealt with it before. They chose not to euthanize it, and now it's back. And it's just going to keep on doing this.
Now at 1, after more than a month under an Altadena home, a California black bear is packing its bags and looking for a new place.
This guy's face here really starts to support my theory of it being a man in a bear costume. And he has that scar perfectly placed above his eye. I'm telling you, it's a skin.
Well, there was an organization called the Bear League from Lake Tahoe that contacted me and said, we can get the bear out for you, and it won't cost you anything. So they flew down here, and they got him out. Well, it was sort of the same methods that Fish and Wildlife used. They used paintball guns and just got him irritated until he wanted to come out.
Now, it's baffling to me because, you know, we were here when the state agency came and they did their tactics. They were here for a while. They weren't able to do it. And then, of course, they were told by the top dogs in Sacramento to pull away and end that.
I thought it was funny what she said there about the people who stopped them, and she called them the top dogs. Like it's some kind of, like there's some kind of gang that's known to run the town. Like it's Al Capone and the boys pulling back the support so the villains can win kind of deal.
And so for anyone who doesn't know, the Bear League is a nonprofit and they specialize in this all the time. They're from Lake Tahoe. They flew down here. And basically what they do, their job is to educate the public, teach them how to coexist with the bears, because their main goal is to prevent these bears from being euthanized by, you know, someone who's really upset that they're under the home.
And so the truth comes out. Ken Johnson mentioned earlier about euthanasia, saying that one of the reasons why he wants to sue the Fish and Wildlife, the bear was tagged, they wouldn't take care of it. They've had interactions with it in the past, and they wouldn't euthanize it back then. And then the new reporter, the one friend he seems to have, other than the Justice League of Bears here, the new reporter tosses him some shade about wanting to euthanize the poor guy.
How they went about it, and just that bear was able to run away on its own. It looked like he was unharmed.
Oh yeah, the bear was unharmed. I mean, these are the same paintball guns that humans use for recreation. And, he's a big, tough bear. It's not going to hurt him like that. He's fine.
Get him, Ken Johnson. Don't take that laying down. Yeah. He hit her with a bit of a zinger there.
Yeah. So my cat Boo growled at him, and he just kind of went on his way.
So right now, the big question is, okay, we don't know where the bear is, right? We do know it's not under your house.
But what if I told you we did know where the bear was? The big bully Ken Johnson was able to scare him away about half a mile down the street, theory says.
Well, it's happened again. A bear has made itself comfortable under a home in Altadena and shows no signs of leaving anytime soon.
And it is unclear if this is the same bear that was living under a home in the same neighborhood and stayed there for 6 weeks.
Where did he go?
Video shows a bear tucked away in a back corner of a crawl space underneath their home. He believes the bear has been there about 4 to 5 days.
That last video about the bear leaving was posted 4 days before this video. So the timeline lines up pretty well. It looks like he just marched himself halfway down the street and then crawled in somebody else's crawl space. Hopefully this one doesn't have those pesky news anchors hanging out cracking jokes.
Now, the family says they don't want the attention and asked us not to reveal their address. This is a neighborhood near Altadena and Midwick Drives. This is less than half a mile from a home that you may remember.
It's also amazing how she was specifically told not to reveal the location of the new home here for the bear, and it's pinged on the map. It's a gunshot on the map. We see the red dot on the building here. It's not going to take a whole lot of investigative journalism to find where this bear's at.
We have reached out to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. A spokesperson told me that he is looking into it and will get back to us with more information, and we will, of course, bring that to you.
And I'm sure it'll be nothing but good news and happy days following when they come over, kick some sand in the homeowner's face, spit on her, and then go ahead and pack their bags and leave again before the volunteer bear league comes over and does the job for them. In the end, the poor guy had to live with the bear for a month or two underneath his house, and he had to turn off his heat, if I'm remembering right. He couldn't have hot showers. The bear was tearing everything up underneath the house. He wasn't a very good visitor, but God bless him. The bear's out of there now, off underneath a new home. He found a new home to squat in until he shimmies on down the road to do it again. Unfortunately, the future of the bear is not looking so good. If he keeps squatting in these houses, it's likely he'll have to start paying rent like the rest of us. This has been Muggy News, and have a great night. Bum ba, ba-na-na.